Venus in Aries, it brings back the focus to what you desire of the self alone, the self that is not immersed or intertwined with anyone else's identity, agendas, or schisms. With Venus coming out of the waters of Pisces, this can feel like a cognitive dissonance. It can feel like a startling shift in our reality and perspective and what we're feeling. And what's simply happening here is that the clarity is coming that what you desire, what you love, what you want, what you prefer, what you strive for, what you value, it could be quite different than those who you would want to share those experiences with or share a particular status with. When Venus makes its way to Saturn, this is when there may be more focus on what those differences include. This time around, when it comes to love, we are going to experience love sober. We're going to experience love without indulgence, distraction, or overwhelm in romanticism. It's loving from a grounded place, a place with your feet on the ground. It's loving without selling yourself. It's loving without giving yourself away. It's loving without becoming a lie. It's loving without hiding or suppressing parts of yourself in order to save the illusion or to save the status, to suffer it out so that it lasts longer. Tiptoeing to keep the peace. Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith is what's trying to come through, and that is everything but peaceful. The Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith aspect of yourself in expression could be the very part that causes disappointment to someone else who wants to share that Pisces version of the love story with you, that Pisces version of expectations and assumptions with you. It's the part of the rose in which there are thorns. You have the rose and the fragrance and the beauty of the rose, but yet here are the thorns. And the thorns are that Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith part of yourself that you no longer can suppress, hide, put away. It contains at the 9th house and also at your Sagittarius placement, these two themes are the burdens of conversation. It's the burden of what there is to sort out, clear out, and negotiate. It's the burden that causes someone else to threaten you or you to threaten another person that is in perception of being rejected again, of being isolated again, of not being desirable or in position to fulfill a particular romanticized ideal. We are going to have to learn how to incorporate Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith effectively without selling our souls again. This is what saves us from a legacy of self-prostitution so that we can have particular outcomes in relationships, in business, corporate, or domestic, whichever the case. The soul is no longer for sale.
I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Venus conjunct Neptune today in Aries. And we're going to summarize this like this. That shit sound good. It sound right. It look good. It looks right. I like how it feels. I like how it felt. But is it real? Mercury Cazimi helps us to gain insight into that. Because this is about breaking the timeline of patterns and how we've related to our power of illusion as it relates to relationships. I said power of illusion. Illusion is neither negative nor positive, good nor bad. It becomes a misfortune when it falls into delusion. Understand? But the power of illusion helps us to project a spiritual view, a vision of that which has not yet materialized, but connects to the astral conviction. Understand? But we can't mislead ourselves with this faculty. We have to utilize this faculty constructively. And it requires Venus to check in with Saturn to get the truth, to get the grounding. And that's in hindsight of the karmic lessons that we have learned over the past 2.5 years with the Pisces Saturn transit. We just had the Virgo eclipse. This starts the new timeline. The new timeline can flow once the vacuum is open with the new moon in Pisces. But that timeline, it goes with the clarity that you allow yourself to have. Mercury Cazimi is a new mindset, a new perception, a renewal of the third house without all the junk, the programming, the false impressions, delusions, misconceptions and assumptions, everything that was assigned to you of the mind, but the clarity that you have after learning these lessons finally. A hard head make a soft ass. Sixth house is where you are the creator and manager of your timeline. It's where you determine what your timeline means in the context that it falls upon. Where you set the tempo for how time moves throughout your life and your destiny, your purpose. Sixth house. Integration between you and the outer world and reality that you are manipulating. We're in the new now. What is your personal new year? That starts now, that vibration. You should know your personal new year. You should know what that vibration is. And you should hold it in contrast to your life path as well as your heart soul urge and the collective new year 1 and 0. Co-creation. We had to get a lot of parts of ourselves out of the way. The sixth house now can be freed up for co-creation. You and spirit. With you getting yourself out the way. What have you learned? Sagittarius is everything now. You want to refer to that. Sagittarius, Black Moon Lilith, this is the difference between you being fake and you being real. Finally accepting that this part has to walk with you too. The very part that they wanted you to tiptoe about, apologize about. Hold on 1 second, tuck that away. Hey, you in violation. We didn't agree that you allowed to say that. You can't go into that. You can't express that. No, you can't have that thought. You can't have that expression. No, that idea is inappropriate. All of that, we bringing it out. We're bringing it out. Ninth house, your philosophy, your beliefs, your conviction, what you have learned, that which is true to your spirit, that which is true to your soul, that which you long to express as a sign of affection to yourself, giving and granting yourself freedom, undoing the restrictions, but not violating the laws of accountability and moral commitment. Otherwise, it is not freedom, it is entrapment. We learned that from the catalyzed experiences of feminists. They reminded us of that and they taught us that. that freedom is not freedom without accountability and moral commitment. It is savagery. Now that we have that, Sagittarius is what you're incorporating. Sagittarius is what's going to be presented to you as something that you must express. That aspect, you have to advocate for that to be a part of your reality and personification. Your delivery, your energy, your conviction, your spirit. You have to make sure that it's there, that it's included in all contracts, that nobody's going to conveniently leave that part of you out. Yeah, I'll take that part, I'll take this. No, you got to leave that at the door. We don't want that part. Well, nigga, you don't want me. I ain't going. Uranus is going to need food at Gemini. It's going to need material at Gemini. That was expanded by Jupiter when Jupiter was going through Gemini, but this time Uranus has to make its own transit through Gemini. Therefore, you have to open up Sagittarius so that it can be transferred over to Gemini as material to examine, assimilate, and find us new wisdom to incorporate into the experience of humanity, making us further civilized, enriching the experience of our human reality, bringing in the innovation through genius. But it takes that fool's journey of Sagittarius. It takes the unrehearsed expressions and experiences and interaction with your reality. The part of yourself that's not so dignified, wearing a damn suit and gelled back hair and a tight ass necktie, pretending to be something that you're not. What's the part of yourself that is the natural self that goes back to the ancestral expression of the self? That which was before conformity, that which was before social agreements, standards, and ideals that were imposed upon you. Do you have access to that part of yourself? Undressed, unrehearsed.
Alright, big topic here. Alright? Listen up. I want you to look at your Aries placement, the house themes there, and I want you to think in terms of relationships and how this house could possibly relate as well to your finances or sense of fulfillment. Okay? In addition to that, I also want you to consider how your fifth house relates to your Aries placement. Okay? Fulfillment of the fifth house. Reason being, it's because Venus has her glory in the fifth house. Okay, so this is the interest of Venus in going into Aries. We have Venus entering Aries now. Okay, and what Venus wants to bring is the interest of your fifth house, the fulfillment of your fifth house. This interest in fulfillment through your seventh house of relationships, which also includes the ascending of your relationships into the eighth house, as well as your finances, okay? And those things or people that you value. There's a few things to consider here, all right? There's a twist to this new beginning that's being initiated with Venus, okay? Every planet that comes into Aries, it's having a new beginning, a new cycle. It's an initiation. Understand that. It's an initiation. Venus wants to initiate new realities in relationships, finances, and the status of your fifth house, and your capacity to enjoy those experiences of your fifth house, to feel it as a reality. There are two things to balance here with her accomplishing that. The two things to balance, the first that she runs into is Neptune. And that is, your imagination can get away with you. Your imagination can get away with you. I need you to calm down. I need you to not get ahead of yourself. I need you to take responsibility for the level of delusion that you could cast over yourself and your ideas. Understand, Aries is an energy of adolescence. It's a very youthful, charged energy. So at this area of your life, you feel youthful. You feel like you're invincible, like you could do anything. You're impenetrable. No matter what happens, you're just ready to dart into it. You'll figure it out. I don't care. You're impulsive. Neptune is for your desires, your astral body. It now realizes its own identity apart from others. It's starting to feel that it has senses. It's starting to feel that it has desires, needs, requirements, expectations. It's starting to sense that it has an ego. This is Aries, the first house. And as Venus steps into the first house, it's realizing the first house expression that you have, the ascendant point expression that you have. Okay, so you want to refer to your first house and ascendant point. What meaning can you extract or relate to in how you express yourself? Okay, what is your life theme of expression at the first house? This helps you to understand what it is that you're realizing about your identity or individuality apart from past themes that have been ongoing or circumstances that you have been progressing through. The deep waters of Pisces that Venus has been swimming through. And she comes out of those waters into Aries. And the first thing that she notices is that she has her own body. What does that body look like? What does it feel like? It's the first house. So what you have to do is call to mind the context of that first house and see what ideas that you have about yourself and what you want to experience. The first house has a unique or particular relationship with the fifth house. The fifth house is the only joy and fulfillment for the first house. Nothing else will satisfy. Understand that. This is what Venus is trying to accomplish. It's what she wants to assume. This is what she's drawing into her imagination. This is what she's drawing into her thoughts. Okay, already she's getting carried away in her imagination and thoughts because she's sensing that through realization of my own identity and clarity of my own identity, there are things that I want. There are things that I want to experience. There's something that has to happen for me to feel fulfilled. I really want it. What is that? Okay, the first question to ask is, what is your identity? You go to the first house and you clarify that, and you look at that sign, those planets. Okay, that is you. And with that being you, there are specific values that goes with that. That is ruled by Venus and Taurus in the second house. There's a specific set of values that you now are realizing that are unique to that first house. And you're comparing it to what you have been experiencing of relationships and whether or not it has been acknowledged, valued, respected, considered, poured into, supported. Okay? Third house, there's a mindset, a particular mindset that goes with the first house, identity. And you're acknowledging through Venus, rather or not, your dialogues, conversations, and interactions with others, whether or not it allows you to feel value or significance, individuation within your own mindset, thoughts and opinions and feelings. Well, not feelings, but thoughts and opinions, your intellectual capacity and intellectual property. Whether or not someone respects your thoughts and opinions. Moving over to the fourth house in Cancer. You are gauging whether or not your relationships have helped you to, whether or not it has respected or honored your need to feel emotionally secure, vulnerable. Whether or not your relationships have facilitated a safe space for you in the past. You're also considering whether or not your inner child has had a place in the relationships of the past. Now, why am I pointing at the past? Because Venus is coming out of Pisces. And in Neptune, she's looking into the scrying mirror. She's looking into the crystal ball of all of those past life karmic experiences and phases of both Neptune and Saturn at Pisces. So she's holding the memory of those experiences in relationships. And she's judging and criticizing herself and her relationships to see, have I been getting the outcomes that I feel I should be getting? Has that been going on? Is something missing? Have I been living up to the ideals of my own personal standards and self-esteem, my requirements? Has this been satisfactory or not? What is possible? Am I now in position to confirm that for myself? Do I have access to that? Okay? And it's very possible that you do see it is a possibility. Finally, in the fifth house, which she is considering, is whether or not your inner child's expression has been validated, celebrated, or honored, nurtured, promoted through relationship opportunities. Now, all of this that I mentioned as well has your financial circumstances also been in support of all of these aforementioned ideals. Okay, I want you to ponder that, think on that, take the notes. Make sure that you're writing notes as we go. Pause, stop, and clarify your notes as we go. Ask questions if you need to. So Neptune goes two ways. In Aries, there's the past view and there's the present assumption. There's a present expectation. There's a present hope. Okay? In fact, let's go along the word hope. Okay? There's a present hope. There's the past memory and there's the present hope. The past memory goes along with the karmic phase of Pisces-Saturn transit, 2.5 years. Okay, so Venus is thinking back on the past 2.5 years in context of relationships and how that has had an effect on your first and seventh house axis. Okay, so that's your first house and seventh house axis. What happened there? What didn't happen? What did you hope would happen and it didn't? Okay, and in the present view, what now is possible now that you have learned those lessons of Pisces-Saturn transit and Pisces-Neptune transit? Now that you have learned these things, what do you see now, okay, is appropriate for you? What is best for you? What facilitates you? What makes sense for your destiny, for your purpose? Okay, what is most fulfilling for you? What is satisfactory for you? Okay? Because now, in Pisces, there was a dissolve of the identity. We boiled ourselves down to a concept. But in Aries, it now gets revealed that there is a separate image there's an image cast from that concept that we are able to comprehend. And that image is all of those things that I just named, okay, that supports that first house. That's you, the image. It is unique. It cannot be adjusted. Okay? It is who you are. All right? For example, it highlights your interest in relationships. What is your interest in relationships? What is your interest for yourself in relationships? And what is your interest for others in relationships? This is what it highlights, and it clarifies this thing. Okay? If I were to give an example, say you're a Libra rising, okay? Your interest is that you may be someone who lives for the fantasy of relationships overall, okay? And you had to go through many lessons of disillusionment with your fantasies of relationships and romance, okay? And getting carried away with that. And now you're coming to the realization that there are needs in relationships that you have been going without, that you've overlooked, that you've denied yourself, that you have suppressed. And now you want a reality where you get to incorporate what relationships means to you. Okay? What does it mean to you? Now, where is this portion coming from? Where you had to suppress something, and now it's time to incorporate something that has been suppressed. Okay? This comes from Sagittarius, and it comes from the 9th house. Because it comes from Sagittarius in the 9th house, it has to do with philosophies that you have, that you felt you had to swallow. You had to, beliefs that you had to deny and pretend like wasn't there. Beliefs that you had to sacrifice and go without expressing. And why? So that you can maintain a relationship, so that you can keep the relationship. Why? Because a relationship has certain benefits and gains in it for you. It has interests in it for you. Okay? But in the past, you were willing to compromise your Sagittarius and 9th house placement and suppress it so that the relationship could live, so that it could endure, so that you could stay within the benefits and opportunities of said relationship. But now this changes, okay? Because Black Moon Lilith is at Sagittarius. You no longer are willing to compromise that. You're no longer willing to go without that. Now, okay, there's a different attitude of what does relationships look like with me incorporating the Sagittarius expression that I have suppressed, with me incorporating the 9th house philosophies that I want to express and insist upon. Okay, so what are relationships going to look like if I should insist that this has to come with me? This has to be part of my relationship reality. This has to be part of you accepting me. If you're going to accept me, you have to accept the Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith aspect of myself. You also have to accept the 9th house aspect and philosophical ideals of myself. Okay. And so this is for you to insist that these aspects of the self are incorporated into everything that is to be assumed of relationships, everything that is to be assumed of how we relate to what it means to be comfortable, what it means to have fulfillment through the 5th house. So no longer disregarding or suppressing Sagittarius, Black Moon Lilith for 9th house. Okay, this is the difference right here. The version I went before was in suppression of Sagittarius in 9th house. Okay, that was to keep the illusion of peace. Understand that. But it's different this time, okay? Because now what happens is when Venus goes in conjuncts with Saturn, okay, there's disillusionment of the idea that we're going to get by anymore by suppressing the self, that you're going to get by anymore by denying those aspects of the self that you used to be in the habit of suppressing, okay? And what Saturn is going to say is, no, you cannot suppress these aspects of the self. You have to acknowledge them and find a way to incorporate them. You have to find a way to include them, not deny them or pretend like they're not there, okay? So you could have certain interactions, conversations, things of that nature that makes it very clear to you, evident to you that you're not going to be able to move forward without finding the courage and clarity, the boldness and directness to communicate your way into clarity and how you're negotiating relationship terms and agreements so that there are no assumptions, so that there are no entitlements, and so that there are no misunderstandings that causes you to leave out the pathway to your 5th house sense of fulfillment and interest in relationship ideals and themes, which means you cannot exclude the 9th house or Sagittarius expression of yourself, because Black Moon Lilith is not going to allow you to do that. Okay, so we have 8 more months of figuring out, how to make these communications and how to do so painlessly as possible, civilized as possible, diplomatic as possible, okay, to incorporate this into anything that's going to be assumed. Okay, this is starting out with clarity and not confusion. This is correcting the record. This is setting the record straight. This is proper claim of status. Okay, this is how we claim the status. Okay, it's proper claim of status. Understand that. So the part of what the role of Saturn is playing is to make sure that Black Moon Lilith, that Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith in ninth house is included in whatever's being assumed. Okay? The Neptune aspect is your interest in the relationship itself, okay, which gives you a view of fifth house fulfillment, as well as seventh house fulfillment and second house fulfillment opportunities, okay? You do want that. You do have an interest in that. But what it leads into is following up with clarification of Saturn, which says, okay, by the way, here's the Debbie Downer, okay? You got your rose, but there's some thorns on it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's more of, you do have a rose, but there's thorns on a rose. Okay, and it's you clarifying the thorns that are on the rose, the inevitable nuances, points, and details that grounds the fantasy into reality, okay? That gets the heads out the cloud and back down to the earth again. See what I'm saying? It's putting the whole perspective back into, reality, so that things are a little more, grounded, so that matters are more realistic, and so that the approach to it is more sober, with anticipation of everything that is, a possible challenge, disappointment, disagreement, or whichever else, that these things can be acknowledged, and incorporated into whatever's being agreed. Okay. So this is basically renegotiation of contracts. If we really think about that, it's to renegotiate terms and contracts. None of these energies that are coming through are new things. Okay. These are not about new things. These are about what you already have been in the process of working on, dealing with, or managing, especially over the past 2.5 years, and the overall theme going back 11 to 14 years. This part is an insert, okay? So it might seem out of sequence with you listening to the flow of this discourse. It's an insert. But anyways, I had an afterthought. Once I finished recording this, I had an afterthought. So anyway, Black Moon, Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith, this is what makes the conversation difficult between Aries, Venus, Neptune, and Aries, Venus, Saturn, okay? This is right dead smack in the middle. This is what brings the burden into that visual, the burden into that feeling, okay? It's the Debbie Downer, okay? It's what ruins the wet dream, okay? So when Venus comes into Aries, it's a wet dream when it gets there with Neptune. You're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Yeah, this is possible. Yeah, we could do this, we could do that, yada, 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 okay? But the Sagittarius aspect of yourself is where the Debbie Downer is at. That's where the portion of burden is at. That's where it anchors that delusion, that getting caught up in the rapture. Okay, y'all remember that song, Caught Up in the Rapture of Love? You know what I'm saying? You caught up in the rapture of love. That's what bring your feet right back to the fucking ground. It's the fact that this person has their own philosophy. This person has their own belief. This person has their own ideal of themselves. This person has their own concept of themselves. This person has their own expression of themselves. This person has their own convictions about themselves. This person has been suppressing things about themselves that they do not want to be judged for. They don't want to be criticized for. They don't want to be harassed and disrespected about. They don't want to be cut off or scrutinized over or examined, micromanaged about, okay? Just let me be who the fuck I am. I'm going to let you be who the fuck you are. And we going to meet in the middle with what we can make possible with a relationship or with, a business opportunity, whatever else it is, okay? That's what that is. It's the fact that there's a newfound freedom in the person. And in order to have that newfound freedom, they have to go back into what was suppressed about them. And that's at the Sagittarius expression. So if you go to your Sagittarius point or house, that is the contents of yourself that you have suppressed for so long. And the other person might not be sensitive enough to understand that it's been years of you suppressing that shit. It's been years of you not being able to tap in that part of yourself. It's been so many years that you've been denying yourself that. Why? Because other people people have entitlement. Other people have assumptions about you. Other people can't handle you being that person. They can't take that you want to take the liberty of expressing that part out of your own self and spirit. It's a problem for them. They fall all apart. They go accusing you, writing you off and vilifying you and turning you into all type of animals and criminals, and they're victim of you because you hurt them and you did this and you did that and you bet not this. You know, it's extreme controls over that aspect of the self, that Sagittarius nature of the self, the ninth house philosophy that is unique to you. You had to suppress it because it keeps coming to arguments. It keeps coming to disagreements and fallouts. It keeps coming out to crashing out. It keeps coming out to, I'm not talking to you no more. You not talking to me no more. We not going to get along. Okay. Everything goes perfect until you bring that up. Well, nigga, I got to bring it up because this is me. Ain't nothing I could do about it. So what we doing? You know what I mean? What we doing? What we doing, nigga? You heard? What we doing? This is me. It ain't changing. It ain't stopping. That Sagittarius portion of yourself, all right? And your ninth house philosophy, that's unique to you in the first house expression of who you are. You have to bring that into your relationships. You also have to bring that into your corporate interests. If these parts cannot be included, it's going to be some smoke, and it is what it is. You're going to have to deal with it if you want me. If you want me involved, if you want me around, this is what you're going to have to put up with. Get over it. Get over yourself. You know what I mean? So all this childish entitlement that's been going on, one hand is going to wash the other. Okay? Because one person is absorbed in the delusion and assumptions. One person is grounded in the reality of Saturn, okay, about the self. And it's like my happiness is your misery, and your happiness is my misery. Or however I said that. You know what I'm saying? My happiness is your misery, and your happiness is my misery. So we got to meet in the middle somewhere. We got to negotiate and compromise somewhere. But I can't change who I am. You know what I mean? I can evolve who I am, but I can't change who I am. Understand that. And you're going to have some understanding with that, because all this entitlement and arrogance of that South Node Virgo, throw the baby out with the bathwater. In other words, following Black American women's mantra of just throw it out, get rid of it, delete, block, walk away, cut them off. Okay, that's where y'all got that from. That is not a viable solution. To always cut people off, to always, close the door, to always block, to always delete, to always go off on your own by your damn self. That is not always a viable solution. We have to develop relationship skills. We have to develop communication skills. We have to learn how to get along. We have to learn to be ourselves with each other, unified, without necessarily changing who we are, but compromising enough to evolve who we are so that there is compatibility. We've got to learn how to do it. And that is the portion that manifests Aquarius in and of itself, okay? Innovation of the self. Innovation of how we approach relationships. Understand that, okay? This is very important to understand. Everybody's going to have to come to grips with the fact that you don't own anybody's identity. Nope, you don't own it. You don't call shots on it. Diplomacy, okay? Venus introduces us to the fact that diplomacy is required, because you are a sovereign just like the other person is a sovereign. You can't be like Donald Trump and fly in kidnapping niggas, tying niggas up because they're not doing what the fuck you want them to do. You can't be like Trump dropping bombs and shit because you feel entitled to do it. You have to follow protocol. The very step that Trump didn't follow, okay, checking in with Congress, all right? This reflects Aries not listening to Cancer, okay? What is Cancer Jupiter? That is Congress. That's where the matriarchal law is, the Constitution. Aries is the impulse of the action that you want to take, that you feel entitled to take, especially of aggression and assertion. But the proper order is that you check in with Congress to get that authorization to take that action. And this is what we learn in between Aries and Cancer, is that you cannot use your Aries. You're not supposed to use your Aries. You are in violation of the usage of your Aries without approval from Congress or Cancer. All right? Let's get this understood. And you don't get to control or dictate who another person is. Everybody is struggling to get that Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith expression of themselves out into the reality without you judging and criticizing it, without you condemning them, without you writing them off as evil, cruel, ignorant, dumb, wicked, crazy, or whatever else, just because it doesn't fit your narrative agenda or ideals of what you can benefit off of from that person and being in a particular state or status that you want them to be, especially of docility. You are a sovereign, they're a sovereign. You have to respect the sovereignty of another person. What can you accomplish together as two sovereign entities, two sovereign beings? What can you accomplish together as that? Knowing what they're about, knowing what they believe in, knowing what they need, knowing who they want to believe, all the ways that you could work together, all the ways that you could benefit each other without changing each other. Understand that. This is the part that we're getting at. See, it's time to grow the fuck up. It's time for everybody to stop being like they damn mama in this Western nation.
Out here eating cup noodles and hot chips for dinner, but get what you and want, Ruth Chris. Bitch, you'll be lucky to get some Wendy's out of me, you baconator head bitch. A 4 for 4. Matter of fact, we going to Steak and Shake. I can get you a triple cheeseburger with fries for $4.99, bitch. Don't come around here trying to act bougie and shit like you just been eating lobster, crab legs, and goddamn crawfish your whole life. Fuck out of here, bitch. You still eat food from the goddamn gas station. Motherfucking molded chicken and all that shit, bitch. You way in the trenches. So don't get with a nigga and act like you just eat at nothing but 5-star restaurants. Ho, please.
Where all of the children turned out to be just like they damn mama. Because they was raised by their mama. Entitled and delusional, arrested in development, immature.
In one day.
Hell yeah.
I fucked 3 bitches in one day.
$300 each?
Yeah.
That's $900.
That's a lot of dick.
That's a bitch check. Imagine 9.
And you don't gotta work for a whole week.
Yes,
2 weeks. You gotta fuck for a whole 2 weeks.
You don't
What's
think
9
this-
times
You
7?
can fuck 6 niggas a month.
That's why you snoring 30.
If you fuck 3 dudes a day for 7 days, that's $6,300.
And at the end of the
Right,
day,
and
how's you gonna feel?
Once every 3-4
Risky.
weeks.
Rich.
I
Once
talk
every
to
4
a woman
weeks.
before.
Alright.
Cause you can fuck 3. On Cutter.
I
Imagine
have.
this. Let me put it to you like this. On Cutter Gray, all us can touch this cup.
I
Touch
understand.
this cup.
I
No, touch this
understand.
cup. Touch this cup. On Cutter, everybody in this room can touch this cup, right?
Yeah.
And you gonna still want to drink that bitch. Now let all us put our hand inside this motherfucking cup. And then pass it back to you and we gonna see if you want to drink that.
No, I'm
it's
not.
a difference from some shit going on and some shit going in, folk. Ain't no 3 dicks supposed to be entering into you, folk. That's all different type of bacteria you put in your shit. Now, at the end of the day, you got $900, but you can't tell me as a woman you not sitting back thinking like, damn, folk, I just did 3 dicks.
Okay,
you
so
have flashbacks and shit.
What if it's
Lee, how much you think
protected
risky?
sister?
I am talking to a woman.
That shit
Stop
don't
trying to convince me about the hoes and what you think a hoe should think like. I'm talking to a woman.
Childish. And I know, I realize I am not getting any more popular with the way that I'm talking. I'm not getting any more popular or desirable with the words that I'm choosing and with what I'm saying. But in the name of my stellium and Sagittarius, I'm being honest.
The United States has the highest rate of children living in single-parent households globally, with roughly 23% to 25% of children under 18 living with one parent. This rate is more than 3 times the global average of 7%, and it's driven by factors like high rates of divorce and non-marital births. That is a fucking problem, dude. That is a fucking problem. We need to look at why this exists because it is very intentional and systemically designed to have that imbalance. And I'm not talking about coincidence. I'm not talking about bad luck. I'm talking about centuries of engineered social patterns, policies, economic pressures, and cultural programming that makes this a reality. And this creates environments where the father, the masculine presence, is missing. Not just occasionally, but routinely. That's intentional. And look, I don't want to make this about race because I've been in single parent households of every ethnicity, but bear with me, guys. I've noticed it's much more common, I'm sorry, within the Black and Latino communities. I'm sorry, it's true. In America, I've noticed this shit. I'm speaking from observation alone, from experience, from seeing the patterns in neighborhoods, schools, families, generations. And me personally, I don't give a fuck who gets mad at me. I have a fucking problem with it. Don't twist my words. I don't have a problem with single mothers. I don't. I see the work, the struggle, the sacrifice, the sheer exhaustion that comes with raising a child alone. I see it. I respect it. Hey, I salute to all the single mothers out there. I know, bro, I get it. Bro, y'all doing, trust me, y'all doing the damn thing. But what I have a problem with is the system that is intentionally designed to create the lack of masculine presence in households. I have a problem with the design, the mechanics, the way society has normalized this imbalance, and the way it has been weaponized to destabilize communities. It should not be this common. It should not be this common. And the fact that the United States has the highest single mother household rate in the world, that is a fucking problem, dude. That is a societal failure. That is an engineered inequality that most people refuse to even talk about or acknowledge because they're too scared, too comfortable, too pussy, or too distracted to fucking face it.
Slept with 50 men for the majority of women and how they're dating today with sexual liberation and freedom, and I get to go out there and I get to live my best life, and I'm doing slut walks and all these different things that are encouraged in society.
What is a slut walk?
What's her name? Amber Rose's walk. It's a slut walk, right? And you go and you're taking pride in the fact that you get to have sex with as many men as you want. No, you know what that is? That's trauma projected onto other women that are traumatized, finding each other and making your bad choices okay. It's not okay. Not if you want a high earning, high value masculine man. If that's just your life, then do you. I'm not here to judge you. I don't care. I'm just telling you what you disqualify yourself from. So if you are talking from a space of, I've slept with 50 men, why? What happened to you? Why are you seeking love so desperately that now you have to give one of the most valuable things that you have to somebody that you barely even know?
Well, Sarah, a lot of people don't believe that their vagina is valuable. They
And
just
that's
think it's
why?
just, but I get
then that
it.
goes into upbringing. Why did nobody ever teach you that?
People can have a horrible upbringing. I
Yeah.
know this from my own experiences.
Yes.
And then through their own intentional choice to heal, seek God.
Exception to the rule. The reality is most people have trauma. They never address their trauma, and they perpetuate the same cycle of life over and over and over again. Most people, they get older, but they never really grow up. They never really mature. They never really choose to say, hey, you know what? I want to have a different life. And things like promiscuity. Any person that has been promiscuous in the past, you can't tell me they don't have trauma. Probably some kind of sexual assault, rape, molestation, something along those lines. Very rarely do you find super promiscuous women that weren't abused in their past.
I mean, I agree, but at the end of the day, the reason why these women are the way they are is because they believe that what happened to them doesn't matter. A lot of men who abuse women get away with it. So it's like if women aren't made to feel like they are safe to go get justice for the abuse that caused them to be this way.
I gotta pause you really quick because my mind is going in two different ways. If you are truly a victim, and let's take children out of it, right? Let's say adults. How does this happen? If you got grabbed on the street and you were raped or molested or sexually assaulted, I am not talking about those women. But there are a lot of women that will go to a man's house after the club, or a lot of women that will go to a man's house after dinner, or a lot of women that will go to a man's house after the night is over. What did you think was going to happen?
I mean, honestly,
and then they want to say, oh, I was molested, I was raped, what did you go there for at 2 o'clock in the morning?
There's women who will manipulate the situation to then say, oh, I was abused. But 9 times out of 10, the women who were raised right in 2-parent households ain't doing that stuff. Normally, all women, I can
That's my point.
Safely say that all women who are desensitized, traumatized, and can just be in situationships and not have any emotional toll on them and can just mess around with any man.
No, but there is an emotional.
No, what I'm saying, they don't. They're nonchalant about it. They're like the man. They're like, all right.
They're not like the man. They're masking as they're like the man.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Though. But it's just like I believe that all of those women at some point they were either not raised right, touched on, abused, harassed.
That's my point.
All of them.
The writings are on the wall. Now this is the thing too.
All right, let's use a symbol here, an archetypal symbol. I found a young lady, okay, who is very good at articulating herself, unlike myself. You know, she's very good at articulating. You know, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? I'll get my point across, but I have a lot of work to do in learning how to master my communication. You know what I'm saying? That'll stop me from showing up, you know, but I have a lot of work to do with mastering my communication to the public. Behind the scenes, I think I do very well. Okay, I'm very effective. I'm very good at communication behind the scenes, but on the public sphere, I've got to work around the crisis of my Mars. Understand that. But anyway, I found somebody who articulates it best as a symbol. Okay, as a symbol. So, if you could get out of your fucking ego, okay, and your damn entitlement and your sensitivities and your panties in a fucking bunch, okay, and listen to this shit, all right, you could get the fucking point, all right? Get over your fucking feelings. God damn. You know, stop giving so much entitlement to your feelings. And listen, God, you know, God help us if we can't stop worshiping our feelings. God help us. Serious. We got a serious problem here with this. But anyway, there's an opportunity with this young lady and how she articulates, you know, massively. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, for the masculine principle, I want you to consider Saturn in relation to Venus. Okay? And what she's speaking about is who Venus has been in relation to Neptune. All right? So if you take the point that she's about to make, you will understand very well in spirit how this translates to our reality. Okay? So I want you to make a metaphysical symbol, an esoteric/exoteric symbol of what she's going to articulate. All right? Now I said it. Now watch how some of y'all are going to listen to this and you still going to charge it to your damn feelings. All right? And we got a serious problem with this, people, especially as Americans. Like, for real. It's killing our capacity of intellectual opportunity. It's destroying our intellect. All of this feeling entitlement. We cannot become intellectuals because we are so caught up in our damn feelings. But I'm going to help you out. And you going to help me out. All right, let's go. Listen.
Woman wants a masculine man, but let's talk about the inconveniences of being with a masculine man if you are an unhealed woman. A masculine man is very disciplined. Therefore, it'll expose how undisciplined you are. His structure will irritate your chaos. His calmness will feel like coldness. You will get bored because he initially has created peace in his life, structure and order. You either get in alignment with it and add to his peace, or you will have to leave. Second is you will feel out of control because you cannot manipulate him. You cannot manipulate him with your tears and your emotional escalations. He will not chase your emotional drama. He will address it head on. You will feel completely exposed and out of control. An unhealed woman with a masculine man will think that his boundaries is a form of rejection. And regardless, he is not going to let up on his boundaries for love, for passion. He will not reward your chaos with more attention. That is something that an unhealed woman is used to getting in prior relationships with feminine men or emotional men. Next is his peace will feel boring. If your nervous system is so used to dysfunction and intensity, and you call that love and passion, he will feel incredibly boring to be with. Next is he will expect you to grow. You're going to be required to grow with the masculine man. He will not tolerate your immaturity. He will not tolerate your disrespect. He will not tolerate your manipulation. He will not tolerate your whining or your tantrums or the things you are doing that are disrespectful to him. And lastly is you can't dominate him. And if you're used to dominating over your relationships, you will feel incredibly small with him. If dominating a man is what makes you feel purposeful, is what makes you feel big and have high self-esteem, or this fake confidence that you carried, then being with a masculine man is going to make you feel small and weak. A masculine man does not need you to try to be the man. In fact, he never will let you. He has structure, he has order, he has identity, he has peace, and he has calmness. And he expects you to add to that, not take it away. An unhealed woman that says she wants a masculine man wants a man strong enough to protect her, but weak enough to control. You cannot demand leadership and then rebel against it as soon as it challenges you. If you want to be with a masculine man, you're going to have to learn emotional regulation. You're also going to have to stop romanticizing intensity and chaos. It is not passion to a masculine man. A masculine man will bring order, and to an unhealed woman, order and structure feels like oppression. So before you say, I want a masculine man, ask yourself, am I the type of woman that can be with one, or am I going to try to dismantle him at any cost?
Okay, so point made, and point is made very well. Now, I have another example from this same young lady, okay, on how other people attempt to mislead you from your purpose, mislead you from your destiny through manipulation, okay? And I need you to listen to it again as a symbol, okay, of what we all have been going through concerning the crisis of identity in corporate world and also local relationships to our life. All right. So I need you to translate the concepts that she articulates very well and effectively. Okay. Unlike myself, she does it in a superior way. All right. I need you to listen and convert it into a symbol of what's going on with Venus in Aries, Neptune in Saturn, which is the past view of the karmic lessons and the present view of what is possible if I adhere to those karmic lessons that I have learned as it relates to the Jezebel spirit, okay, that has been moving throughout our reality to test us, to train us, and to develop us. Understand that. The Jezebel spirit, okay? The Jezebel spirit is not just about somebody coming in and waving some pussy in your ear and misleading you off your mission, okay? This also translates in an archetypal sense, okay, people who come into your life and want to swap destiny, steal destiny, or discourage you from your destiny, get you to doubt who you are in yourself, get you to disbelieve in who you are, get you to betray your mission and identity and the estate, the person, the legacy that goes along with that. Okay, that's through shame and tactics, guilt trip, I got your moments, getting you to betray your own values and codes so that you start questioning and doubting yourself. Okay, getting you to lose your crown, throw your crown, lose your integrity, expose your own self, so on and so forth. Now, listen up. Let's go. Let's go. I'm serious about this, man. I need your help with this. Just listen, nigga. God damn.
The inconveniences of being with a masculine man if you are a woman possessed with the Jezebel spirit. First and foremost, the masculine man is not going to worship her. If she's used to admiration, if she's used to sexual leverage, she's used to being the center of attention, and she's used to praise, then she is going to struggle deeply with the masculine man. In fact, she may even resent him. A masculine man admires, but he does not idolize his woman. His mission, his calling, and his obedience to God comes first. And a woman possessed with the Jezebel spirit, she wants to come first. She will interpret his priorities as neglect in the relationship. And that's a very egotistical woman colliding with a man with order and structure. Second is, she will feel challenged because he can see through her. He can see that her tears are a form of manipulation. He can see when her silence is being used as a form of punishment. He sees when her seduction is used as a form of controlling him. He will refuse to participate in any games. And to a Jezebel-spirited woman, this will feel incredibly exposing and uncomfortable because that level of discernment feels invasive to the Jezebel-spirited woman. Third is a masculine man doesn't shrink to accommodate to insecurity. He will lead and wait for her maturity, or he will simply detach, especially when disrespect is consistent in the relationship. There is no third option. There is no in between. It's either one or the other, but he will never, ever, ever succumb and bow down to your chaos and dysfunction.
Okay, so you heard it. from someone who has a much stronger communication, talent than I do. All right. She made it painless. Okay. Wasn't no cuss words or cigars in her mouth. All right. So you should be able to digest that. Now, take what you heard, and I need you to convert the masculine principle to Saturn. Okay. Convert the feminine principle over to Neptune. All right, understand that. And with Venus, let's hold that as you, the astral body, in the crisis of these particular experiences that she's describing. And Aries, which is clarification of the identity, okay? Sabotage of the identity, or confirmation and, status correction of the identity, okay? All of these different things and past themes of Saturn Pisces transit 2.5 years, as well as Pisces Neptune transit 11 to 14 years. Come on, let's get it right, okay? I'm gonna go into a discourse that breaks down some of these points and details, smooth it over, smooth it out. You know what I mean? Listen up. Questions, comments, concern, all of that. Go ahead in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the like button. Like, share, subscribe, all that. These are free videos. It's free content. You know what I mean? I don't get monetized for this. You know what I'm saying? You don't see symbols of Cash App, PayPal, so on and so forth. So the least you could do is hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all try to express your disagreement and your grief by not hitting the like button, but guess what? I still see y'all funky ass niggas out there still watching the videos, but you refuse to hit the like button, okay? Just because you got a funky ass attitude off of what I'm saying and you still watch the video, why not hit the like button if you still gonna watch it? You watch it with your face ball up. You watch it with an attitude. You watch it talking shit. You watch it hiding behind the scenes in the shadow. You can't stop watching it, but yet you refuse to hit the like button. What that say about you? Since you gonna be here and you gonna watch it either way, you know what I'm saying? Hit the like button, nigga. The fuck? Hit the fucking like button. You know what I'm saying? Because you still gonna watch it anyway, even with a fucking attitude. I see the numbers. Come on, man. The 11 to 14 year timeline, that has more to do with who you were with the collective, okay? The influences that the collective were having on you as it relates to your Venus themes. See what I'm saying? That goes with Neptune's transit through Pisces, okay? So when Venus goes into Aries, it's your identity in light of what Neptune has picked up in its past memories, okay, of Pisces. And what that leads to is current assumptions of what you want in a better light based on what you have experienced, okay? So it's starting over with experience, okay? So because of those 11 to 14 year experiences with Neptune's transit through Pisces, which really essentially is internet, influences that played into your relationship ideals and how you relate to finances, how you relate to your own self-esteem and your value system, we have become hopefully disillusioned about these things, okay? So there's a different outlook when it comes to that, okay? The social influences, also the illusions of societal programming, okay? That is played into how you relate to second house and seventh house themes, as well as how you're interpreting your fifth house victories in life, okay? It has been diluted, it has been misled, and confused by programming, okay? So now that you hopefully have seen your way out of that matrix of programming, it's you checking in with your astral body at Venus, saying that I have learned these things, so now I see more hope and what I can accomplish of seventh house, second house, and fifth house opportunities for myself in relationships based on my first house expression and what the interest of my first house expression is for me in life, okay? And this is to follow up immediately with Saturn, okay? Because as soon as Venus leaves Neptune conversation, it sits at the table with Saturn. And sit at the table with Saturn, Saturn has the checkpoints, okay? This is what you see. This is what you believe. This is what you have learned. Okay, here are the responsibilities involved. Here's where there's accountability involved. Here's where there's disillusionment. Here's where you have to, realize where, you may have, went in the wrong direction, where you have caused yourself some pain, injury, confusion, or doubt. Okay, this is where you have to realize that there may be adjustments that you have to make, that you may have to compromise some. Okay, that there might be steps to take that you might not desire but are inevitable. Okay, all of the mature factors. The uncle who stops you in the middle of your tracks. Yeah, I know you want to do that, but first, I need you to clean out the garage first. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of thing going on. And so, when Venus goes to Saturn, it's looking at the immediate past, not the far distant past. Saturn relates to the immediate past. That immediate past is the past 2.5 years in Pisces. Okay, so Venus is looking at what you have been learning karmically of Saturn transit lessons in Pisces. And based on what you have learned karmically, it's reminding you of what responsibilities you have to yourself, what accountability looks like to yourself, what maturity looks like to yourself, disillusionment. Okay, it's also confronting you where you've gotten carried away with assumptions and delusion, where your imagination has gotten you carried away and hurt, where it traumatized you and caused you injury, and then you went crying on your bed, sitting in my room like Brandy thinking about you, and you want to blame somebody else for why you sitting here snotting and crying at night. You know what I'm saying? And so it brings us back full circle to that, like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm getting a little carried away. Let me calm down. Let me relax. And this is also seeing that you're not getting a no just because you're getting a glimpse at the workload here. Okay, it doesn't mean no. It doesn't mean you can't. All right. What it means is that you got to get more realistic if this is what you're going to do. Okay, you're going to have to approach it in a mature strategic intentions if this is what you're going to do. You're going to have to get out of that dream state. You're going to have to grow the fuck up. You're going to have to stop being, an arrested developmental adolescent. Okay, you've got to come to maturity if this is what you're going to do. Collectively, what this is pointing at is everybody's going to have to grow up and grow up fast. Okay, the time period of Neptune through Pisces, that was a time period where, from the American perspective, everybody became very immature. People became childish. People became irresponsible. Everything became about luxury, turn up culture, hypersexuality, fun. Everything's a fucking joke. Okay, females took over the world and spray painted the whole entire America pink. Okay, and this is where everybody lost their critical thought. They lost their intelligence. They lost the depth of themselves. They lost their wisdom. Okay, everybody became surface, superficial, and dumb as a box of goddamn rocks. Yes, you went to college. Yes, you got your degrees. But bitch, you're dumb as a motherfucker because you don't know how to think critically because you can't get past your damn feelings. You can't get past the entitlement of your feelings. You cannot get past your own delusions. Okay, this is that reality check. That no matter how many degrees and everything else you got, you still make the same mistakes as the one who never even stepped foot into a university. You still got the same errors and the same suffering in relationships that they got. You still have access to the same dusty ass niggas with the type of mentality that you're walking around with. And why is that? You know what I'm saying? This has become disillusion at the fact that, college, university did not save you. Okay. Wisdom was supposed to save you, not a college university. So this is real disillusionment that's coming home. Okay, and understanding that what happened during that Pisces transit of Neptune, America, the West became very immature, very childish, delusional. It's all of these artful delusions that came into the mind and the disconnection from responsibility and accountability. This came along with democratic liberal extremes, okay? Democratic liberal extremes, which was to absolve the people of their responsibility, which detached them from those spiritual mechanisms within themselves that gave them autonomy, self-responsibility, maturity, and the capacity to uphold what it takes to to take control of their reality. And that's how we got to the people who we are today, where you look and see that, we have pedophiles in the office who are playing with children and ain't nobody did nothing. Ain't nobody rose up, ain't nobody did nothing. Why? Because we became dumb. We became weak through Pisces Neptune transit. We became a bunch of adolescents, a bunch of fucking children, delusional as shit. And you're looking at Iran? You're looking at Iran? Really? A bunch of video game playing, delusional, immature, arrested developmental, childish, teenage minded, grown adults in this nation who don't even have the courage, the guts to have real conversations. You run away from real conversations. You take off and run when it comes to the pressure. You get the fuck out of Dodge when it comes to stepping outside that delusion and illusion and actual having real conversations about real things. You get the fuck on. Okay, it's confronting us with what we have done with our minds, with what we have done with our imaginations, which we have essentially spoiled it. We have turned it into 5-year-old children. Okay, and this is the crisis with Aries. That's what Aries is, okay? When Aries is not evolved, it's an arrested developmental adult, okay? It's an adult who has not matured. It is an immature, impulsive person who just takes off and darts off, pew, you feel entitled to whatever, and you don't care about the consequences. You throw it off on somebody else. You're the spoiled brat who throws the tantrum in the grocery store. You're the unchecked child where everybody's looking at somebody's badass kids walking and crawling all over everything, and everybody's looking around like, whose badass kids is these, okay? That's who we became as a consequence of Neptune transit through Pisces. And Saturn is asking us to admit that this is the case so we could get it together and have what we really long for, have what we really desire. And even in some of the things that we picture in our mind of what we desire and long for are still childish and delusional and unrealistic. But we can't accept that. Okay? This was also part of South Node Virgo. The ridiculous high standards that were introduced to the people's mindset through feminism. You got to have this and you got to be that and you got to have this if you're going to date me, if you're going to see me, but yet you are none of those things. The arrogance, the narcissism, which really is a reflection of a person's lack of connection to their own sense of value and identity to confirm within themselves. So they cosplay as being a value that that is completely oblivious and mysterious to their own self and their body. Bitch, you walking around with all this makeup and wigs and nails and big ass fake horse teeth and fake titties and ass and all this other stuff, and you assume that you're entitled to millionaires, billionaires, and all this other stuff, and you just throw your standards up there, but really you ain't shit. Somebody have a conversation with you, it gets exposed that you really ain't shit. You don't know nothing, you ain't about nothing. And college degrees cannot hide that. College degrees cannot disguise it. It can only hide it but so long. It can only disguise it but for so long. College degrees cannot enter wisdom. It cannot enter wisdom. So your college degrees can't save you when it comes to that. You see what I'm saying? So this is all across the board in how the internet and feminism is what caused this aspect of the self. Now, you might say, where am I getting that from? Venus is exalted in Pisces. And Pisces is where this delusional trait within the collective has come from, okay? Venus is exalted in Pisces. Let's understand that. That's where feminism comes from, okay? It's gone too far. And it turned the whole entire society into dumb motherfuckers, okay? That's why the children are so simple-minded. The children don't know how to think critically. The children can't even read. They can't write in cursive. They can't read. They can't think critically. They don't even have the patience to read through a novel or a book. Their strength is not in thought. They're not strong thinkers. They can argue, but they can't debate. They can go to ChatGPT, but they can't arrive at conclusions themselves. They don't have discernment. They don't have wisdom. And why? Because single mothers raised them. The single mothers didn't want the fathers involved. They turned the children into weapons. See, we're reaping the consequences. The chickens come home to roost, as Malcolm X said. Karma is here for that. But the opportunity is for us to heal it and clean it up right now with this new beginning, to start a new cycle, holding the realization of that and going correctly this time. What this highlights is that relationships is not a place of fucking fantasy. Your relationships is not a place of fantasy. Your fantasy has kept you from relationships. It has kept you from having families. It has kept you from what gives you fulfillment. It has kept you from the fulfillment of your life. It has kept you from your purpose because of these delusional fantasies. It's one thing to have a vision, but it's another thing to have constant fantasies running through your fucking head, and you expect somebody to come along and make all of your dreams come true. Keep you up in the rapture of dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. Keep me high all day on love and lust, and don't let me fall. If you fail to keep me high, I will cheat. I will go and find somebody else to keep me high, to worship me all day, to serenade me, to give me this feeling of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin all day. Sit right here and make me happy. Sit right here and make me secure. Sit right here and make me feel sexy. Sit right here and make me feel attractive. Sit right here and make me... We have gotten so sick and off the path, okay? Relationships are not for that, and it's not about that. It can include these things, but it is not about these things. This is correcting the fact that that romance has misled us in relationships. And in fact, it is the basis of why we have not been able to enjoy relationships, the assumptions that come with it. Leaving no room for the Sagittarius nature, leaving no room for the ninth house dualities of different minds, two minds coming together, complementary instead of in conflict, leaving no room for the differences of each other in compromise. With men, females have become a pornographic assumption. With females, males have become a novelty assumption. And we have gotten nowhere with it. It hasn't done anything for us but cause trauma, pain and grief and regret to the children, confusion, animosity, male and female eternally at war with each other. Many of you out there want to look at me like I'm the bad guy, but are you doing the work to try to actually fix the problem, heal the problem, address the problem? No, because you're a coward and you want to run away and you want to talk about and cherry pick the things that are neutral, painless, easy to maneuver. You don't want to deal with the root issues that you know is there, that you know is a problem. Why? Because it causes us to examine females, and we have made it forbidden for us to examine females. We have made it wrong. We have made it taboo. We have made it illegal to question or examine females, and that's why we can't get no damn where. How many so-called spiritual leaders and teachers are out there who are tiptoeing around it and who refuse to address it, bring it up, nip it in the bud, talk about it, acknowledge it? Why? Because they need your money. They need your validation. They need your likes. They need your following. They need you to like them and accept them. They're afraid of you deleting them. They're afraid of you unsubscribing. They're afraid of you walking away. They're afraid of you leaving them with an empty audience. They're afraid of you causing them not to be able to collect a check off of monetization. Okay? So they are telling you whatever you want to hear, just like any other girlfriend in America. All you got to do is tell them what they want to hear. You can fuck them all day, treat them how you want to treat them, and toss them aside. Why? Because they love to be lied to. They are delusional and arrested in development. So I'm the enemy for pointing this out. I'm the bad guy for pointing this out. I'm wrong for clarifying this. And you get to walk around here pretending like you're the peacemaker. You get to be the one who walks around here pretending like you're the one so full of righteousness and virtue and compassion for females, but you won't tell females the truth so that we can set ourselves free. Did you not forget what sets us free? And the truth shall set you free. Did you not forget what that means? Did you not forget how that might feel to present the truth in order for it to set us free? Did you not weigh what that might mean? The truth shall set us free. What does it mean that the truth is supposed to set us free? It means that shit is going to hurt like a motherfucker to process it. So we can get to the freedom. It's going to hurt. It's going to disturb us. But where do we begin? Where do we begin? Nobody's allowed to talk about feminism. Nobody's allowed to talk about females. Nobody's allowed to bring it up. Nobody's allowed to unpack it. You people do not have the courage to discuss it. You don't have the courage to go into that subject matter, pick it apart, examine it, and pass around a new thought, a new mindset, a new spirit, a new attitude when it comes to the identity of females in America from the West. You don't have the guts. You can't do it. This is the season 2026 and 2025 and 2024 of all heroes falling from the sky, falling from grace. All stars were collapsing. And it started with the celebrities when Black Moon Lilith was in Leo. The eclipse of Virgo, it took down all of the premier misleading leaders on the internet. Okay? Anybody who was having false presentation over the internet, these big champions and big names and all, they came falling down too. And there's still more to come. There is still more to come until we get to the Pisces new moon phase. There's still more to come. You can't see the pattern that everybody who was misleading you, everybody who you were in your own imagination putting as the symbol of your ideal image, expression, or status, that their whole status is shot, okay? And collectively, this goes back to white supremacy, and it goes back to feminism, okay? Which is championed by white Christian males, white Christian nationalist males, and Black American females. These two directions, okay? And for all nations, white proximity. White proximity is what had everybody's mind and imagination contaminated based on their demographic, how light their skin is, what their flag is and what they're claiming, and who they're going to discriminate and throw under the bus and betray as a result of that. And when it comes to females, all females have been ruined by the Black American females' expression and championing of feminism. Nobody wants to admit it. Nobody wants to be real about it. Instead, they want to say the infamous is the bad guy. Okay, I'll be the bad guy. Now that you know that I'm a bad guy, now what? Where do we go from here? Okay, now that I gave that to you, now that I admit, okay, you got me. I'm the bad guy. Where do we go from here? What, I should stop talking about it? I should apologize? I should take back my words? You know, you tell me. Where do we go from here with that? So let's move on to the other aspects of this. Overall, every planet that checks in with Aries is checking into a new expression of Aries, okay? Aries is no longer the little badass kid with the snot, with the snotty nose, crawling all over the furniture, okay, with no supervision. Now Aries is, in the midst of Big Mama, okay? Aries is reconnected with Big Mama. Now, what do we mean by that? Aries is a child of the zodiac, okay? This child needs supervision. So what Cancer Jupiter was about is it's representing the divine authority of Cancer matriarchal principle, an archetype of the divine mother Yemaya, okay? In other words, the Big Mama energy, okay? This is an internal Big Mama energy that assumes authority over the divine child of creation, Aries, okay? So now going forward, there's a unique relationship between Aries and Cancer. And this unique relationship is that Cancer Jupiter has established that divine authority that Aries is to check in with Cancer before taking any actions. Okay, before making any actions, before standing up to do anything. Okay, this means that the child now understands to look in the eyes of the mother. All right, you're at the doctor's office. Okay, you're at the grocery store. You're out in public somewhere, whatever else. Okay, Aries, that little child, it wants to, get up and walk around, be curious, try different things, be impulsive. Its impulses, cannot be contained, with all the energy in its body. And so this child now understands that I have to look in my mother's eyes first before that I get up. I have to look in my mother's eyes first before that I pick that thing up, before that I do that thing. You see what I'm saying? So internally we learn that Aries is not an impulse that we just let freely fly off of the handle with assumptions, creating and co-creating things that we do not want to take responsibility for, that creating or taking initiatives in matters that we do not want to see all the way through. Once it no longer has sugar in it, once it no longer, lights up as a toy, we throw it down on the ground. You see what I'm saying? So it's getting us back to the basis of maturity in the self. Understand that. So this is the badass kid with the snotty nose who now knows that, Big Mama is sitting in a room. You know what I mean? And Big Mama is Cancer. That's sitting in a room. Internally, this is you. This is you checking in with Big Mama whenever, prior to you utilizing any Aries initiatives. See what I'm saying? So this is going to be continuous throughout the next 2.5 years. This is especially going to peak every time that Venus crosses over or conjuncts with Neptune and Saturn, as well as any other planets. Okay, as long as Saturn is there and Neptune is in Aries, these are going to be serious checkpoints. Okay, also with the oppositions and squares of planets here, these are serious checkpoints because we're learning to incorporate this into the spirit of Aries. This makes us responsible with our freedom. This also makes us accountable with ourselves as gods or goddess. Okay, people are used to walking around and putting on their name tags and identities and, naming themselves and crowning themselves as God and goddess and all these other different things. Okay, this is what it really means to be that. Understand? Okay, we getting it correct this time. No, you're not that you all gods, but authority has to come with that. What does that authority look like? The child checking in with Big Mama. Okay, so this little kid can't be at the dentist's office, putting his hands all over everything, crawling all over the furniture. Can't be in a grocery store grabbing stuff, putting stuff in his pocket, opening things up, stuffing it in his mouth. The kid can't be all over the place, crawling on the floor and dropping stuff, breaking stuff. You understand? Big Mama is here, and Big Mama is Cancer. You check in with your inner child. You check in with your moral compass. You check in and you weigh it against your own conscience. You consult your oracle of the divine self. You check and see, is this against my value system, my morals, my integrity, that which is right to do? Also, does this glorify me or does this glorify the fact that I have to leave a legacy? I am responsible for the legacy that I hold in this timeline. Okay, so with all of those things are in consideration also. Okay, so the divine child now knows that it's checking in with Big Mama. Okay, Big Mama is sitting there, all right, with the cool 100 cigarette, you know what I'm saying, in her mouth, and the little boy knows now. Okay, I'm not going to test Big Mama, because if I test Big Mama, she gonna hit me with a shoe. You know what I'm saying? She gonna slap me. She gonna cuss me out. She gonna do something. But Big Mama ain't here to play. You know what I mean? It's one of those. So if you get this relationship right, there's grace for you. There's blessings for you. Okay, there's forward motion. There's nothing to worry about. Okay, everything conspires to work together. But our intentions have to be different now. It's not about glorifying self, but it's about the legacy. The legacy goes back to Cancer. Because it goes back to Cancer, it does uplift the fourth house, the domestic principle. Okay, everything that makes us civilized overall. What makes us civilized? That goes back to the fourth house in Cancer. That goes back to the matriarchal mother. That which makes us civilized, that which keeps us civilized, having these intentions, the intentions that we lost because, or as a consequence of, feminism in and of itself, extremes in liberalism, as well as extremes in capitalism and corporate interests and ideals that have been socially engineered into us as concepts that we subconsciously harbor and act from, okay, creating subconsciously from a place where we're not aware of, but somebody else is. You see what I'm saying? And that only creates and constructs our demise. You know what I mean? So everything now glorifies the matriarchal source. Understand that. So we're leading with righteousness, compassion, advocacy, selflessness, groupthink, thought process, community process, tribalism, you know, so on and so forth. Okay, it's about us. It's about we, not just me. Okay, when Venus steps into Aries, it does remember that I have a I am in this we. Okay, there is a I am, but what does a I am mean? Okay, the I am principle, which is ruled by Mars, is in Pisces, and in Pisces, he's going with the current. He's not swimming. He's flowing with the current of Pisces. Okay, that's universality and love. That's also the concept of the essence of the self without programming. Okay, without all of the programming. Understand that. So he's bathing in those waters of Pisces, dissolving all of the programming that had him going into cycles of futility and what he was subconsciously creating. So when Mars gets back into Aries and, you know, he's right back at home, you will find that your initiatives after these 2 months are going to be very effective. They're going to be very confident. And they always are going to come back around to constructing the Cancer principle in your life. And what you're going to find is that after enough time, you have established the grassroots of a legacy without even realizing it. Understand? Okay. So I believe that I went over the main details that, you know, we need to go over. Throwing that out there, it's a lot to, you know, to try to explain or, you know, harmonize as a point. But listen, ask questions, comments, you know what I'm saying, concerns, all those other things. And listen, some of you all out there got to get over, okay, your pearl clutching and all this sensitivity when somebody goes in and talking about this whole feminism thing, because I'm going to keep bringing it up because other people out there, the only reason they're not admitting it, bringing it up or talking about it is because it's a check in it for them, okay? They got to get a check. They got to get monetized. They got to keep, you know, the viewership going. They don't want you to walk off. They don't want you to unsubscribe, but I'm a person who don't give a fuck about none of that. Understand? I don't have nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving it to you like it is. You know what I mean? I'm not bought and paid. I'm not sold. None of that. So, you know, you're not going to be able to, you know, get that result out of me. You're going to hear it just like it really is. You know, so, you know, take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? Take it or leave it. You heard? Let's go.
Fucking going over bills, dude. It's a fucking nightmare. Every fucking month you work, all your fucking money goes to the fucking mortgage, the fucking electric, the fucking oil, the fucking gas, the taxes.
Cry me a river.
Huh?
So cry me a river.
What do you mean cry you a fucking river? It's fucking expensive, dude.
Because maybe you gotta
You have no fucking idea.
Maybe you gotta work more.
I work enough. You need to fucking work. All you fucking do is walk around in fucking pajamas.
Cry me a river.
Cry you a motherfucking river? How about you fucking pay some of the bills, asshole?
I do. I pay my car, my phone, my electricity.
Yeah, but you don't pay electric, you don't pay fucking Wi-Fi, you don't pay mortgage, you don't pay rent, you don't pay nothing.
Oh, cry me a river.
You know what? Stop fucking...
Actually, matter of fact, cry me a fucking ocean.
Stop fucking telling me to cry you a motherfucking river. I'm fucking tired of the bullshit with you. You fucking walk around here like a fucking prince. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're still in your fucking pajamas.
Someone sounds jealous.
I ain't fucking jealous of you, you fucking asshole.
You sound like cry me a river, dude.
Fucking douche.
Now, from a financial standpoint, this stands true in every way as well. Okay, you just have to convert these different points about that. Okay, so basically what it's about is the first time around you were approaching with the assumption of your incorporated self, your incorporated ideal as being the concept of the self. But you have recovered, hopefully, the fact that you are the living man or the living woman. Okay, and in recovering the living man or the living woman, you found, hopefully through astrology as well, that there were there's a certain design to you. There's a certain order to you that must be implemented in order for you to feel alive, living, fulfilled, purposeful, or satisfied in your life. And it doesn't include you living to be the incorporated ideal of any system, organization, or corporate executives who want to take assumptions over your imagination, your expression, your time, your energy, your service, or whichever else. So we are converted to a different reality where we're stepping outside of that matrix in that agreement of the patriarchal order. And I'm not just throwing words around like a lot of these fucking poets do, okay? So when I say patriarchal, what the fuck I'm talking about is, okay, the disconnect from the matriarchal realization of the self, which is the true and living self. Understand that. Who has values, who has a conscience, who has sensitivity, who cares about their damn family, who cares about who they're causing to suffer, who cares about taking care of themselves or honoring their inner child, and who are not out here to worship money, to worship status, or to worship people. Okay, the patriarchal greed that desensitizes us and turns us into devils, i.e. the devil card, number 8, Saturn, Capricorn. You put all that shit together, okay? It's to separate yourself and alienate yourself and assume a duality concept of yourself when it comes to the comparison of Cancer and Capricorn, saying I have to choose one or the other, and I choose Capricorn, so I scale up the hill and I leave behind my humanity and everything about me that makes me civilized. I leave behind everything about me that makes me a god or a goddess, that puts me in the image and likeness of God. I leave it all behind, and that was a damn problem. Feminism taught women to do that, okay? The incorporated ideal that we assumed of ourselves, okay, the Rothschild Rockefeller ideal, 1902 General Education Board, thank you very much, taught us to do that. The assumption over the globe of all nations, peoples, nationalities, demographics, tribes, okay, legacies, through Unum Sanctum, the Catholic Church, Vatican, okay, Khazarians, whose right hand is white men. Okay, this is where we got that from. And this is the timeline where we finally give it the fuck back. All right? Understand, you are the living person now. You are the living person now. And so our means of sustaining ourselves is no longer exchange time for wealth. Okay? Not necessarily. This is us seeing that we have gifts, we have talents that we could trade value for value, asset for asset, second house for second house into the 8th house until we find, means of empowerment for the self to sustain the self, okay? Monetizing the self, okay? Which also includes, of course, financing, okay? But it is to lean into your talents, it's to lean into your gift, it's to lean into your actual identity to find fulfillment, okay? Living through your dream, not your dream of lust. Not your dream of delusion, not your dream of what was given to you through the music videos, not was given to you through commercials over the whole 40, 50, 60 years of your life, not the dreams that was given to you through your favorite movies and your favorite celebrities or whatever else, the dream that came from your 5th house, the spiritual service that comes from your 12th house, the growth opportunity that comes with your life path down the lane of your north node. Do we fucking understand this shit? God damn. Do we understand it? Okay? You people out there continue to block the energy of this from flowing because of your pearl clutching. We can't get to it without addressing what prevented us from it. What prevented us from it, okay? Feminism, all right? And corporate greed. Okay? And there's two champions of there's a champion of feminism, there's a champion of corporate greed. The champion of feminism was the African American female and her sisterhood. What she subscribed to. Does this address every black woman? No, it doesn't. Okay? But it's her sisterhood that misled all women. So all women need to realize where they're getting this toxic shit from and admit it, confess it, stop lying and pretending like you didn't get it from there, because yes, the fuck you did. Gay people out there, you get it from black women too. Trans, you get it from black women too. All you toxic motherfuckers get it from her. And the same thing with you and all of the different nationalities and demographics of light-skinned people. Light-skinned people out there who've been betraying people, keeping people out, blocking people from progress and opportunities, gatekeeping and everything else, dirty competition, throwing niggas under the bus, and whichever else, political affiliation, because you think that that's going to keep you safe by smashing a MAGA hat down on your hat, okay? That goes along with white proximity. Thank you very much, okay? So these are places where we have to confess and admit what we were doing to our collective status and identity. Okay, coming out of the falsehood and illusion of these fictitious status and characters and competing through it, scaling off of that Capricorn mountain and getting back to the humanity of itself and entering through that and how we're showing up for each other. Okay, becoming civilized again. Understand that. Okay, so I'm trying to clarify these things, but there's too many reflexes going on. You know what I'm saying? You all are supposed to be out there helping me to push this energy around. It's in the spirit. It's in the energy. But it's a lot of y'all lurkers, okay, hiding in the dark back there, clutching your pearl. Oh, I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he said that. Oh, my God. Oh, that just can't be true. No, that's not how I was taught. Bitch, if the mind state got you in the funk that you're in, how the fuck you think that same mind state gonna fix it? Dizzy ass bitches. But you so caught up on how I'm delivering, how I'm talking, and how I'm saying. Why? Because that gives you time to distract yourself from committing. It gives you time to make more and more excuses on finding ways to prove why what I'm saying is something that you shouldn't even take heed to. And you're part of the damn problem. And you know, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm sick of it. You're in the way. You know what I'm saying? You're blocking the energy from flowing. You know what I'm saying? We got to get to the real, where the real solutions is at, so we can fix these problems. Understand that? Because I know where the fuck we at. Do you know where we at? Or you could know where we at, but you ducking down inside of the seat like, yo, spin a block. I seen somebody I don't want to see me. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm riding fish tank in the hood. No tinted windows, no nothing. I'm riding fish tank in the hoopty. You don't want to ride fish tank in a hoop because you scared of who gonna see you and what effect that's gonna have on your reputation and image. Yeah, this is riding fish tank in a hoopty, nigga.